Welcome back, you guys. I got my guy right here. He's a jack of all trades. So yes, he's starting a business as far as healthcare, but he has another very interesting and illuminating project, journey, career, if you will. But I'm gonna let him speak a little bit more about that.
Okay. Again, my name is Q Dyson. I'm an artist here in the DMV, born and raised in Washington, D.C. Honestly, I'm a church boy. I grew up in a church. I mean, church is really all I know. That's where I derived from. I mean, my dad's a pastor. My grandmother was a pastor. You know, just all my folks. You know, we grew up in the church. We grew up singing, playing instruments, writing music, different lyrics. I mean, just I kind of grew up playing.
Okay. Playing what exactly?
Pretty much everything, you know what I'm saying? So I started off on the piano when I was about like maybe 2 or 3. My dad kind of taught me like the basics, and from then I just took it and ran with it. It was like nothing that could stop me at this point. So pretty much self-taught. I mean, besides the stuff that my dad did teach me, but everything else was kind of like self-taught. And then I got into classes, or you know, I went to school and you know, minored in it. Kind of just went from there. Like, have a vibe. This is what I do.
Okay. So, who inspired you? What made this actually kind of be a dream to not just say, yeah, you know, I can start a little something, I can play instrument and you know, praise the Lord, but for you to actually expand, what made you? What was the inspiration behind that?
I feel like music. It was a given for one. Like I said, I come from a musical background. Like literally everybody in my family can sing, from like my cousins to my brothers to my sisters to my mom, my dad, my grandmother, aunts and uncles. Everybody can sing. So, but what made me actually like pursue music, what actually inspired me, I'll say about maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I lost my grandmother, and I kind of just, I had nobody to talk to. I mean, of course, I spoke to God, you know, I talked to God, but I had like nobody really turn to, nobody to talk to, and I felt like music was a way that I can get out what I was going through.
Okay, so it's like a therapy, like it was healing for you. Okay.
Yeah, so I go by this quote. It's called, when words fail, music speaks.
Wait, say it.
When words fail, music speaks. So that quote kind of settled me for like 5 years now, and I go by that. Like if you look at my social media, you will see that quote in like my bio. Like when words fail, music speaks. I just feel like not only is it my therapy, but it's who I am. It's a part of who I am. Okay. And again, my grandmother, losing her back in 2020, you know, I was going to this dark place. Like I had nobody to turn to, nowhere to go, and I just started writing. So I wrote my first song in about 2020, and it was called Your God. Okay. So it was kind of inspired by her. So.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I love that. So, what genres do you focus on? Is there not a genre that you would not explore, or what's that? Let's talk about that.
I love all music, but the base of who I am comes from gospel. Like again, I'm a church boy. I grew up in a church. That's really all I know, for real. But you know, just exploring life and exploring like who I am as an artist and a person. I mean, you know, I indulge in any genre. You know, I do a little bit of gospel, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of classic. You know, I just don't, like I said, I can't box myself in.
I love that answer. Okay, good. Because if you really think about it, a lot of people that have longevity in the business, and granted, I don't know a lot about the music industry, but I know at least you gotta be creative. You gotta be able to expand your bounds. You can't just sit and settle on one thing, because then you might lose the next generation and the next generation to come. If you wanted to continue, you gotta expand yourself.
That's true. I mean, I feel like as an artist, you kind of gotta like evolve. It's like writing a business proposal. Like again, I do like the healthcare side, but even in the business aspect, I feel like you have to evolve. You can't stay the same.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that makes perfect sense. So, let's talk about 2026. Is there any projects that you have done thus far? we're going in, basically, let's just say be in April. So if there's anything that we have done from January to April that you would like to kind of speak on a little bit more?
Actually, yeah. So I say the end of the last year in December, I dropped an EP called Connections.
Okay.
So it's like a 4 or 5 song EP, so definitely go and check that out. It's on all platforms, Amazon, Apple, all of it. You can go look it up on YouTube. Again, you'll find it on my page, my social media. But I'll say 2026 is definitely a big year for me.
Okay. I love that.
It's a challenging year, of course, you know, with everything I have going on, but it's definitely a busy year, and it's going to be a great year for me. I have a whole bunch of music just releasing pretty soon. I say like as early as next month. I plan to release a gospel album for sure. I actually plan to release a R&B EP, R&B EP, you know what I'm saying? I'm dipping and dabbing in like all genres of music, from like classical to jazz to gospel to R&B. I plan on releasing like everything, so like all of it's like created in one, but I mean of course it's like different genres that's coming out at like a different time, but yeah, I got a lot going on right now.
Okay, so you definitely gonna be in the stew this year.
Oh, for sure. I stay in the studio.
So as far as vibes, as far as the EPs that you were talking about, what's the vibe? What's the vibe that people should be preparing for when they're listening to these kind of songs? What was the inspiration for that?
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good question. I say life. You know, all my songs come from life. I mean, when you go through life, you go through certain situations. I mean, you go through like relationships, or you go through losing people. You go through like all of these different, you know, like feelings.
Right.
So my music, it comes from a certain type of vibe, a certain type of feeling. Like if I'm sad, I'm gonna write a song. If I'm happy, I'm gonna write a song.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It just
it's all of your just pure experiences of what's going on, so just real lifestyle. Just kind of.
I just create. Like sometimes I find myself in the studio, like I'm literally just, you know, I'm going through something, and then I just begin to, you know, play, or just, you know, simply write, you know, lyrics or whatever the case may be. So based off of how I'm feeling, that's how I create my music.
Okay. Understood.
So I try to find like sounds that go according to, you know, like my mood, how I'm feeling, the vibe, you know what I'm saying? I just create it and it all just come together.
So you a man that have many talents. Can we say that we're also gonna hear some instruments that you are actually playing within these songs? Does that have ever been a thought for you?
Oh no, you definitely gonna hear a plethora of instruments that I'm
playing.
Okay. Yeah, I got a lot that I'm actually playing on like these singles or, you know, albums that's coming out. And again, I have a few shows coming up. I actually have another one April 2nd at Lisp Lounge in Temple Hills. We have that one coming up, and then we also have a R&B showcase on April 11th that y'all need to go check out. Tickets are actually on sale right now.
Okay.
So be sure to get those tickets before they go up. You can find that in my bio. Trust and believe it's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a vibe. Again, Key Dyson is in full effect.
Alright, I'm excited. You know I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna make sure I find a way to get there if I get off from work or whatever the case may be. So yes. One last question I do have for you. So we talked about when preparation. So is there anything that you would like to let people know overall, as far as your music journey, as far as your health, your business? You know, you said this is a big year, 2026 for you. What would you like to kind of, if you could just sum it up in maybe a sentence, what would you say 2026 is for? Like, what does that look like for you? What is your purpose for 2026?
2026 for me is definitely a breakout year. Okay. It's to people to know who I'm actually am as a, you know, an artist, not just an artist, a black man, a business owner. Mm-hmm. Like I'm forever evolving. I'm still learning who Key Dyson is. Okay. So I believe through, like, you know, my healthcare and my music, like I said, I'm forever evolving. You'll be able to see exactly who it is I become, mm-hmm. and exactly what it is I want to do.
Well, I think that was enough said. I think that's a great way to end the show. So thank you again for coming on my show. I appreciate you so much. Again, this is Who Dat Now. We're gonna close it off for an ending, but make sure that you subscribe, you like, you listen, You retweet, if they still retweet, I don't even know if they do that anymore. Repost, put it on your story, all those good things.